In the frozen darkness of the Arctic Circle, where winter swallows the sun for months and temperatures plunge below -40 degrees, lies an island most people barely think about. Yet, American strategists have quietly studied for more than a century. Greenland is the largest island on Earth, spanning more than 800,000 square miles of ice, rock, and untapped resources. It is so vast that it could fit Texas 3 times over, with room left to spare. For generations, Greenland was dismissed as a frozen wasteland, home only to Inuit communities who had survived there for over 1,000 years. But to American military planners, Greenland has never been useless. It has always been strategic. In January 2026, President Donald Trump brought this long-standing reality into the open by saying something no modern president had said so directly: that the United States needs Greenland and that securing it is a matter of national security. The reaction was immediate. European leaders protested, commentators mocked the idea, diplomats expressed outrage. But behind closed doors, those who understand global power politics recognized that Trump was not inventing a new idea. He was voicing a strategic consensus that has existed in Washington for more than 160 years. To understand why Greenland matters so much, you have to understand one terrifying fact about modern warfare. If Russia were ever to launch intercontinental ballistic missiles toward the United States, those missiles would not travel over the Atlantic or the Pacific. The shortest path from Moscow to Washington runs straight over the North Pole. That path passes directly over Greenland. Whoever controls Greenland controls early warning systems that could mean the difference between survival and annihilation. This is not theory, it is mathematics. During the Cold War, American defense planners realized that Greenland was the front line of nuclear defense. The Guyuk Gap, Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom became one of the most critical naval choke points on Earth. Soviet submarines had to pass through it to threaten America's east coast. Today, Russian Bore-class submarines still patrol these waters, carrying nuclear missiles capable of striking US cities within minutes. What has changed in recent decades is the Arctic itself. Since the 1980s, Arctic sea ice has shrunk by nearly half. What was once an impenetrable frozen barrier is becoming a navigable ocean. New shipping lanes are opening, military access is expanding, and nations that position themselves now will dominate the Arctic for the rest of the century. America's interest in Greenland did not begin with Trump. It began in 1867 with William H. Seward, the same Secretary of State who purchased Alaska from Russia. While newspapers mocked Alaska as a frozen mistake, Seward saw the Arctic as the future crossroads of global power. After securing Alaska, he immediately turned his attention eastward to Greenland, commissioning surveys and strategic assessments. His conclusion was simple. With Alaska in the west and Greenland in the east, the United States could control the entire northern approach to North America. Congress ignored him, and the opportunity slipped away. That mistake became painfully clear during World War II. In 1940, Nazi Germany occupied Denmark in a matter of hours. With Denmark unable to defend Greenland, President Franklin D. Roosevelt faced a hard reality. If hostile powers controlled Greenland, American security would be directly threatened. Even more urgent was a mineral called cryolite, found almost exclusively in southern Greenland. Cryolite was essential for aluminum production, and aluminum was essential for building aircraft. Without Greenland's cryolite, America could not win the war. Roosevelt acted decisively. The United States entered Greenland, built bases, constructed airfields, and established a permanent military presence. Over 10,000 Allied aircraft passed through Greenland during the war. The island proved itself not just useful, but indispensable. After the war, the threat did not disappear. It changed. The Soviet Union replaced Nazi Germany, and the Arctic became the primary route for nuclear missiles. In 1946, American military leaders unanimously agreed that Greenland was essential to national survival. President Truman offered Denmark $100 million in gold to purchase the island. Denmark refused. A compromise followed in 1951, allowing the US to build bases but leaving sovereignty unresolved. That compromise still defines the situation today. Thule Air Base, now known as Pituffik Space Base, became one of the most critical installations in the American defense system. At its Cold War peak, Thousands of American personnel operated radar systems designed to detect incoming nuclear strikes. Today, those systems still operate, now tracking threats from space and the Arctic. American taxpayers fund them, American forces operate them, and American cities depend on them. But military strategy is only part of the story. Beneath Greenland's ice lies enormous economic power. According to geological surveys, Greenland holds billions of barrels of oil and vast deposits of rare earth minerals. These minerals are essential for modern technology, from smartphones and electric vehicles to advanced weapon systems. China currently dominates global rare earth production, controlling nearly 80% of supply. That dominance gives Beijing leverage over global manufacturing and military technology. Greenland's rare earth reserves could break that stranglehold. Conservative estimates place the value of Greenland's mineral resources in the trillions of dollars. Yet development has been slow, blocked by regulation, lack of infrastructure, and political hesitation, while Chinese companies quietly move in. There is also a political reality often ignored. Greenland is geographically part of North America, closer to New York than to Copenhagen. Its population of about 57,000 people largely supports eventual independence from Denmark. Denmark still controls defense, foreign policy, and currency, while Greenland relies on annual subsidies. Many Greenlanders see this as a lingering colonial relationship, not true self-determination. Trump's argument is not simply about territory, it is about influence, about preventing China and Russia from gaining a strategic foothold in the Arctic, about ensuring that the northern approach to North America remains secure, and about recognizing that ambiguous arrangements made in 1951 may not be sufficient in a world of renewed great power competition. Russia has rebuilt Arctic bases at a rapid pace. China has declared itself a near-Arctic state, launched icebreakers, and attempted to purchase strategic assets across the region. Joint Russian-Chinese bomber patrols near Alaska would have been unthinkable a decade ago. Today, they are reality. History shows that America's most criticized territorial decisions often became its most valuable. The Louisiana Purchase, Alaska, even Hawaii. Greenland fits that pattern, not as an act of conquest, but as a strategic investment in long-term security. The question Greenland presents is not just about land. It is about whether the United States will shape the future of the Arctic, or allow its rivals to do it instead. For over a century and a half, American leaders have understood Greenland's importance quietly. Donald Trump was simply the first to say it out loud. And the choices made in the coming years will determine who controls one of the most strategically important regions on Earth for generations to come.